Welcome back to that build. Today I'll be doing more progress, obviously, of my Porsche Turbo Replica build. If you're new to the channel and would like to catch up, please do watch the full disassembly video. There is also individual videos of each day I've actually done work on this car. Within my channel there are other playlists including interests, other builds and other people's builds. If you'd like to consider subscribing, I do appreciate it. Fun fact of today is spending some time with a tape measure. The whole episode is going to be purely on this. I will be doing a bit of something, I don't know yet, because I've already had a bit of a look, and my biggest problem is that this space frame, if you're not aware, is completely, absolutely, stupidly all over the shop. It's one of those things whereby you're trying to be precise and you're working with something that is so angular and not symmetrical and whatever else that it is impossible. It's not the easiest thing to do. I've more or less got to make certain that the distances in between the side tunnel here, it's the morning, the tunnel and the side piece here are the same on both sides. The front itself is the most crucial part. The back it's also crucial, but it's going to be extremely much more difficult to figure out exactly where that is a square point, because this section here bows inwards, that section there bows outwards. So there is nothing here that I can actually pinpoint off of, and even these here, I don't even think they're 100% square in comparison with anything. So to start off with, just to give you a bit of an idea of what I'm talking about, more or less go from the center of the tunnel across to the outside. Now we are on either the ridge here or the weld there or something like that. We're more or less in between 595 and 600 mil. If I go to the other side, however, and then on here we're looking at 595, no, yeah, so now we're actually 595 right on the very edge of the side. So this is the problem, is that if I do this one again, yeah, this is about a couple of mil out. If I try and line that up somehow, there we go. This is about 3 mil out, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's enough that it can make a difference, because once that tub goes on top, it has to bolt to the sides here, and if they're out, obviously it's going to drag the entire body over, so then one wheel will be sticking out further than the other. With the rear, same sort of deal. You look at it from the back, it might be slightly crabbed, so getting this right is really quite crucial. I've already sunk a heap of bolts around the perimeter here through the existing holes and through the holes in the floor pan. Again, not 100% lined up, so they're kind of pulling or resting against the metal, the actual holes in both lots, because some of the bolts are on an extreme angle. This isn't 100% flat because the timber chunks I've got here are just to support the weight so that it's not resting on here and obviously pulling this metal down. Until I get these done, I can't really rest this metal on here safely, but at the same time I just don't want it to tear anything, for argument's sake. Once this is in, I have a lot more faith that everything's going to be, reinforced, it won't have an issue. So what I've been kind of thinking of doing is putting these in place and working with the holes on the floor pans, drilling through this here, putting in some crush tubes, and then marking out from the inside of, underneath, onto the base of this thing here, new holes to drill. So I'll be welding up the existing holes, all of them, because there's excess anyway. There's 2 extra holes here, enlarging holes here, an extra hole here, extra hole there, and the same on the other side. So they all need to be filled in, and then these ones here, again, also fill in, then mark new holes, and then drill those ones. What I might find I need to do as well is, because some of these bolts are really hard up to the lip, is that I might have to actually mill that section out and then kind of weld that ape. I'm doing so well today. I could cut, but no, let's just keep going. Yeah, weld in those gaps. So this isn't completely seamed. It is actually allowing moisture and stuff through. So I'm not really sure what underneath there looks like. Do I crack that open and rust prevent it from the inside? It's probably not a bad idea. I'll consider that one later, I suppose. So yeah, I just really don't know where to start. This is, I think I'm pretty much in the situation I've got to ignore this until I have this completely sorted. But it gives me an idea, because I didn't know how far off this would be. So these holes are completely out of whack. The cutting here, like it's cut all over the shop too. Like it's completely wonky and out of shape. It is absolutely ridiculous. Zero care. And yet this is supposed to be, you know, a kit. It was actually from a company. The actual kit was from a company. They made, I'm not going to say several, they made a few. I know about 4 or 5. But yeah, it's, I don't know, a high standard, I suppose, just like some cars out there these days. But yeah, so let's going to do a quick check of the rear. I don't even know where to measure this from. If I go on the inside, just rest it against kind of in line. So that's 650 bang on, really. Try the other side. 660. Let's go for the back here. I don't know if this is square, but let's go against this to, let's say, the center of the bolt. So a square 400 mil. Try the other side. There we go. Okay, so this isn't too far off. This is about 5 mil off. If I'm going from the back center piece to the bolts on the shock towers. How am I supposed to measure this? Now for the next fun task. All these holes. But, good bit of advice. Yeah, it was a plumbing fitting, but it's now been mashed into a flat surface. This will do quite well. So, chunk of copper in behind each of the holes, weld up the pulls, grind them down, flat metal once more, and then drill some new holes. This took way longer than it really should have, and mostly because I procrastinated so badly after the holidays. But I finally got there. This is done. It's now filled in all the existing holes, completely flat surface once more, and it's ready for some new fresh holes. However, I can't do that until I've had these drilled out. So I won't be doing this part, mostly because I don't have a bench drill, and personally I don't see the investment. So I'm not going to buy one. I've got a shop around here that actually did the plates for me, drilling those holes out and everything. Take these back to him, have him drill out some 11/16 holes. Reason why it's 11/16 you'll find out in a second. I've got about 18 in total to drill out. What I've done is actually simply lined up the center of the metal itself. So where the actual holes will be, the dead center will be in the middle of the box. Then what I'll do is when I'm actually putting the bolts through into the pan and everything, I'll have to finesse the middle a little bit. What that may mean though is that I might have to actually do a couple of slits here and there, just so I can contort the metal, get the holes in the right spot, then weld them up again. So not really that big of an issue, but it's just something that may need to happen just so I actually do get the holes exactly where they are. I don't want to work with simply, drilling holes willy-nilly through this, and of course they're all off-center. I'd rather the bar be perfectly square and then work it around the existing holes in this, which then leads me to drill through that. I've still got to line that up properly, and that's still in my head exactly how to do it. What I do have, which I'll be going to purchase very soon actually, is some round pipe, which will be recessing into the holes. So once these 11/16 holes are drilled out, I have some 17.2 mil, why 0.2, I don't know, but 17.2 mil pipe in which I'll be putting, offcuts, dowels more or less, into the 18 drilled holes on these, welding them in place, and then of course I have a firm area in which to put bolts through. The bolt size, I'll talk about later, and there is a massive upgrade. It's not as large as I would have hoped, but in order to keep everything really nice and structural, it was the best way of going about it. And it's still an upgrade regardless. The existing bolts are really small. So that'll be happening next time around, hopefully. It just depends on how soon I can actually get to that. So that's pretty well it. Done for another installment, not another week. It's been like 3 for me. 4 actually, I think. But anyway, so that's going to do it again today, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, like, subscribe, comment below, etc. This has been DAP Build. Now, get on with your build. Until next time, cheers.